I am delighted to invite up Cindy Anderson to share some words of Torah, speaking to the process of our solar project and also to why it is very, very important to our community. Now, a few things about Cindy. Cindy cares deeply about the environment and sustainability. You can ask her anything about the environment and sustainability, and she will answer. She has been a part of Betham's Dayenu Circle since it was formed about 5 years ago, with the focus of helping us at Betham become more sustainable. She has shepherded both our heat pump project and brought SC to this sanctuary, and to the social hall, and our solar project that we are celebrating tonight. So thank you, Cindy, and welcome.
And I'm now between me and the food. Okay. Shabbat Shalom. There's a teaching from the Talmud that I've always loved, partly because it's profound and partly because it's a little ridiculous. It goes like this. If you have a sapling in your hand and someone tells you the Messiah has arrived, first plant the sapling, then go greet the Messiah. Let's pause on that for just a moment. The Mashiach. After thousands of years of waiting, the moment we've all been hoping for, and you want me to go finish gardening? It's funny, but also deeply Jewish. Because what this teaching is saying is, don't get distracted by the big, dramatic moments. Don't get overwhelmed by how big the world's problems are. Just do the next good thing. If you have something good and lasting and helpful in your hand, finish it. Plant the sapling. That speaks to me now more than ever, because let's be honest, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Between ICE detentions, our lives, our rights being eroded, climate change, etc., sometimes it feels like the world is on fire, and it kind of is, sometimes literally. What can one person or even one synagogue really do? Well, we can plant the sapling. We can do what's in front of us. And we did. This fall, we're installing a 100 kilowatt solar array on the Betham's lower campus near Arastradero, which was supposed to be done by today, but it's not. Okay. It will produce 80 to 90% of our electricity. It's not going on our roof. Our roof is made of shake, so that would be dangerous. But beyond the fire risks, we wanted to preserve the sanctuary's beautiful architecture, and we wanted it to be closest to Arastradero, and it would be supported on purlins, a new word for me, similar to what you see on many public school campuses. We worked closely with our extraordinary Rob Steinberg to ensure it would not detract from the beauty of our campus. Several people have asked me why this project has taken so long. Okay, there were a number of reasons. First of all, Los Altos Hills building department is very understaffed. Second, we learned that installing in our zip code is not easy. For example, the city of Los Altos Hills pointed out that our new structure will provide shade for people underneath it, who park underneath it. However, people who need handicap parking spots need to park close to the entrance to the sanctuary, and those spots do not have shade. The city refused to issue a permit until the issue of equity was addressed, which has nothing to do with solar power. As a compromise, Betham committed to providing shade for several handicap parking spots. We also learned that Betham is a wildlife urban interface zone. Who knew? The fire department wanted us to add sprinklers to our system, significantly increasing the cost. Fortunately, our vendor, Saliva Energy, was able to find an acceptable compromise. However, these modifications added lots of time to the schedule. Now, I have a confession. This project didn't just appear overnight. Our predecessor, the Green Team, led by Mark Grossman, had been trying to bring solar to Beth Am for years, but it never worked out financially. Historically, nonprofits like us could not get a tax credit for solar because we don't pay taxes. However, with the IRA under our last president, nonprofits such as churches and synagogues could also benefit. And all of a sudden, it was 30% less expensive for us and made sense financially. But more than the technology or the financing, installing solar at Beth Am is a statement about who we are. As Jews, we're committed to care for creation, to preserve it, to protect it. This Shabbat, we read the first parashah of the book of Breshit, in the beginning. When God began to create heaven and earth, the earth being unformed and void, with darkness over the surface of the deep and a wind from God sweeping over the water, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good. This solar array is one step closer in our commitment as Jews to sustain and responsibly use the earth God has created. It is a good thing. Here's a modern midrash. When the Holy One created the great light, the sun, he said, "Let it give light to all that grows. Let it warm the faces of my creatures. For ages, humankind basked in its light, but did not see its power. They burned the dark remains of the earth instead of receiving the pure gift of heaven." Then the Holy One whispered, "My hidden light still shines in every beam of sun. Uncover it with wisdom, and you shall heal the world. But beware, for the same light that gives life can scorch the careless heart. Use it with reverence. My first light was meant to sustain, not to consume." So next time you park your car in the shade, if you're lucky enough to find the shade, I hope you can feel proud, because it isn't just a solar array, it's a mitzvah, a commitment to the earth, to our values, and to the generations that come after us. Now, we'd like to thank and bless and honor some of the people who helped make this possible. This project took a village and was done 100% by Beth Am volunteers. They negotiated the contract, selected the vendor, arranged financing, created the financial model, and raised the startup money, assuring that we would receive federal funding and negotiating with PG&E. First, I'd like to thank the Beth Am board. Without their support and encouragement, this project could never have happened. And second, I'd like to thank the Beth Am Dayenu leaders and many volunteers. When I call your name, can you please come up to the bima, where